People who saved themselves for marriage and eventually got divorced. What was your approach toward sex after the divorce? In our conservative Lebanese society, after the first divorce, you get a free pass actually. Some people would talk about you, but a lot of conservative people would just tell them she's divorced, she can do what she wants. From what I've been told, my girlfriend, Greek culture is very similar. You get a black mark which can be seen as bad, or completely liberating. It's actually quite weird, like to show themselves publicly with the boyfriend, but would never talk about him officially. Everybody knows he exists, but he isn't really acknowledged. Wow. I am Syrian and it's weird how different it's here. For us, you just go back to what you did before marriage. Like, yes, you can date, but sex is definitely still a taboo and honestly kind of hard because most divorced women go back to living with their parents and the gossip and shaming is just too much. This doesn't apply to me, but I do have a friend who is in this boat. His approach has been to swear off relationships and be celibate for the rest of his life. Well, that's one way to handle it, I guess. Sounds like he will be the only one handling it. Crap, that was good. Just like his favorite Star Wars character, Han Solo. Are you the master of your domain? Queen of the castle. That was literally me until I cried every time I masturbated because of how lonely I was. Damn. You okay? Look at his username. The answer is no. But clearly found companionship. You should start masturbating with other people. It's less lonely. This is probably going to weird people out that I know this, but my mom. I know she could be lying, but she and I are painfully open with one another. She was raised at a private Catholic school growing up and claims she never had sex before marrying my dad in their late 30s, and I'm very inclined to believe her. They adopted us, me and my twin sister, when she was 43 and presumably couldn't have kids. My dad cheated on my mom with his current, and third wife, when I was 2.5, and my mom hasn't even been on a date since. She's very content with being single, she's 70, and has been single for 25 years. She said she got coffee with a guy when we were 4 but thought he was weird, she wouldn't qualify it as a date. I think my mom would go out with someone but she doesn't care enough to look. She's not on dating apps. If she met some dude at the garden store and he just asked her out, she would probably say yes, it just doesn't happen. By and large, I'm pretty sure my mom just wants to hang out with my aunt, her sister and best friend, and garden. Edit. A lot of folks saying she might be or probably is asexual and doesn't know, or that she's a lesbian. You're speculating with the information I gave you, but highly doubt either of those. Maybe she's asexual but definitely not a closeted lesbian. I'm pansexual/bisexual and have brought men home. My sister is a lesbian, although she dated boys in high school and early college before coming out and has said she wouldn't never date a guy again, but she's exclusively interested in women for the foreseeable future. She probably would have come out to us. She has been very pro-LGBTQ since we were kids. Always telling us she wouldn't care if we were gay, and when we both came out she definitely didn't care and was nothing but supportive. The church she attends has had 2 long-term pastors. A lesbian woman, and a gay man. My church helped organize the first Pride Parade in my town in the 90s. My family, including my grandma who would be 109 if she was still alive, is pretty actively pro-LGBTQ. My grandma was alive I came out and she didn't bat an eyelash when I did. She supported me. I'm aware people see Catholic background and assume she must be conservative, but she's pretty radical leftist for her age, so I really don't think it's some repressed sexuality bullcrap. Just figured I'd put the edit in because I keep getting comments saying the same things about my mom. I kind of understand that with her. I'm married, in my 30s, and I swear, if my husband and I ever divorced, or if he died, I honestly don't believe I would date anyone again. I'm very content with being by myself though. I don't get lonely, and I don't get bored. If I did, I'd probably just go hang out with my best friend. I also don't have any desire to be with anyone else besides him, and I don't think that would change if we weren't together anymore. Learning to enjoy my own company was the best thing I've ever done for myself, but yeah, it almost handicapped my desire to find a mate. But they say love pops up when you least expect it, and that seems to be the truth for me. I've always been that way though. I enjoy being by myself, but I also really enjoy being around my husband. I've been in relationships before him, but I've never felt this comfortable with someone. The relationships before were always lacking something. But I think it's why I would not want to be with someone else if anything were to ever happen between us. In my mind, no one else can compare to what we have. It just helps that I'm more than okay being alone. So I used to work in an apartment building for senior citizens, not assisted living, but close. You'd be surprised how many widows, widowers, and divorcees revert to their early 20s dating lives when thrown in a community of their peers. Lol. It was fascinating. There was a new scandal every week, and the drama was like that of a high school. We used to jokingly refer to the property manager as the principal and the resident services coordinator as the school counselor. Seniors living in senior communities are the fastest growing age group being diagnosed HIV and STDs. They're living it up. Lol. This is exactly like my mom. However, my parents were married for 20 years. My mom has no interest in a relationship because men of her generation expect to be taken care of by a good little wifey, and my mom says F that. She already did that for 20 years. My dad passed about 12 years ago. My mom has no interest in dating anyone. As she says, all men want at my age is a nurse or a purse, and I don't want to be either. Mom didn't have sex for 8 years after getting divorced. She's a devoted Christian for sure. Unfortunately, she got drunk and ruined her 8-year streak. Got it on with my boyfriend's dad. Sigh. Are you going to be dating your stepbrother here soon? Write this down. Pornhub people. I'm fairly certain they have this one covered already. Whoa, stepbro. We have questions for your mom. She got in on with WHO. Nope, not the World Health Organization. It was her boyfriend's dad. Please pay attention. Shocking twist, boyfriend's dad works for the WHO. This was my wife. We've been divorced for 3 years and I'm pretty sure she hasn't had sex since, and won't until she gets married again. So she's apparently been true to her principles. 7 hours. We met at boot camp graduation. She wants to bring her friend John to the wedding, but I'm okay because I know she loves me. Somebody call 911. Shoddy fire burning on the dance floor. Whoa. r/unexpected scene Kingston, Reddit link. A teacher at the school I went to was in her mid-50s, very Catholic. She was saving herself, and still is, until marriage. She has never been married. It's not premarital sex if you never get married. Well, that's one loophole that can be used. St. Peter is sweating already. Frantically flipping through pages of a large book. You're telling me anal sex doesn't count as sex, so you're still a virgin? How do you think the Catholic priests have been getting away with it for centuries? Poop hole loophole. She's been using all the holes, not just the loopy ones. Honestly, same situation with my ex-wife. She's Mormon. I'm not. We dated for like 6 months after meeting while I was in college. I was 21, she was 23, married for like 11 years, had a son in 2011. We divorced in 2018. I'm 100% positive she hasn't even dated anyone since the divorce, let alone have sex. Edit. Someone commented and said something about a temple marriage and her still thinking we're married. Actually, much to the disdain of pretty much everyone on her side of the family and friend circle, we didn't actually have a temple marriage. I was never considered temple worthy because I kept doing things like drinking alcohol and masturbating and watching R-rated movies. I went to one of their temples once, but I wasn't allowed inside. So no, she doesn't think we'll be reunited or anything. Our 9-year-old son, however, has mentioned that when we die we'll be a family again, and that one, breaks my effing heart that he believes that, and two, is really awkward when he says crap like that around my partner. Edit 2, to clarify, no one, outside my wife, knew I masturbated. The point I was trying to make that was because I did those things, and others, I wasn't allowed in the temple. To get in a Mormon temple, you have to have a pass from the bishop. I never bothered trying to get one because I would have had to have lied, and then my wife would have known I was lying, so it all would have been a moot point. She knew I did those things, and she knew as long as I did them I wouldn't be temple worthy. But if y'all want to just imagine that everyone knew I was beating my meat like it owed me money, that's cool, laughing my butt off. Bro, I'm sorry. That sucks. But for what it's worth, my parents divorced when I was little and my mom force-fed me her dogma like that too. Just take him fishing and stuff. I have a great relationship with my dad now. I love him. Your son will grow to see beyond Santa, the Easter Bunny and Bio Mom's theology, especially if he has the friendship of his dad. Speaking from very personal experience, this person is right. I'd amend it to suggest taking your kid to do things that he wants to do. Maybe he doesn't like fishing and thinks they're skimpy and gross. It's okay, just do something else, like hiking. And do it way more often than once per year, or he might start believing that mom is right, since he doesn't have someone else showing him otherwise. Edit, slimy, not skimpy. Damn you, autocorrect. Edit 2, I don't mean to imply there's anything wrong with that fat fish ass. Apologies to any BB fish enthusiasts out there. Right. I just really like fishing. But yes, I think that's sound advice. Bro, I feel you. I wasn't allowed inside the temple because I drank coffee. Lamau. On our /X Mormon, the best meme is Jesus saying welcome home, I'm so glad you didn't drink coffee, Reddit link. My scenario was a bit unique in that my ex-husband and I never did the deed in our marriage. After the divorce, I really couldn't wait to lose my V card. I had to suppress my sexuality for so long that my mindset was just to let loose and have some fun. But then I met a really lovely man and we hit it off really well. We're so compatible in many ways, especially in the bedroom, and I have no desire to know what sex would be like with someone else. Would I tell others to wait for marriage? Probably not. But doing it with someone you are deeply in love with is one of the most amazing things in the world, and it's worth waiting for that person to come into your life. Similar story but no marriage. I was with a gay guy 3 years, so there was obviously no sex. When he came out I was like, F it, I'm going to make up for lost time with a bunch of one-night stands. I wanted the first time to be with someone hot. So I picked a guy based off looks alone and made my move. He was supposed to be the first of many, but we ended up getting along really well and now we're married, and that's how I accidentally waited for the right guy. I feel like you missed a real opportunity to have used the name _gaydar. Aside from that, very glad to see your story had a happy ending. My favorite part is the gay ex is now my best friend, he's godfather to our children and so much happier. I really lucked out. Are you sure there isn't a studio audience occupying half of your home that laughs and laughs and laughs at all of your delightful family antics? This is sitcom material. Your story has such a happy ending, thank you for sharing. My friend will love this idea, I'm sure he already has a list of people who he wants to play him on TV lol. Well, that was a roller coaster. Care to expand on a marriage without any sex? Sure. Before we got married we discussed our sex life and what we wanted out of it. In hindsight, it was me who brought up the conversations and he just agreed to it, also I thought we were on the same page. On our wedding night we discover he's got a bad case of phimosis and is unable to have sex. Spent 4 years trying to get him to do something about it. But hey, sex doesn't always mean penetration, right? Except he took oral off the table as well as cuddling and making out. And anytime I tried something, he would sabotage it and we would end up talking about how difficult of a situation it was, and it just killed the mood. Spent a year in couple therapy and he had no desire to change. His answer after everything had ended was that he was terrified of sex. No history of sexual abuse or anything. Ouch. Phimosis is where the foreskin is stuck or difficult to retract from the head of the penis, causing difficulty with normal hygiene and painful intercourse. It's a fixable condition either with therapy or surgery. I can understand a little of his fear, but his not being willing to move forward must have really been frustrating. I'm glad you've decided to go on with your life. Ditto, had phimosis, got some cream, a month later was gone. The extreme case just need a tiny surgery, it's fixable. Glad original post got out of that relationship as the husband didn't really care for his partner. I ripped mine. Twice. The first time it bled quite a lot, the second time I was just like, oh, there goes my banjo string again. Still hurt like hell. The second time also left a bit of that connective tissue sticking out and it looked like a wart, so that was awkward having to explain nah, it's just the remnants of the bit that holds the foreskin in place, mine ripped cause my foreskin was too tight. It's not a wart. It's been there for years and I've been tested recently for STDs. If I'd known I had a problem, and I'd known I could get it fixed with quick and easy surgery then I would have. Because in bleeding from my dick what the oh crap my dick is broken in bleeding. Kind of ruins the mood, not that I could use it for a few weeks anyway while it healed. I googled it instead of seeing a doctor, but it turned out okay. Foreskin pulls back way easier and I've had no problems for years. I don't recommend my method though. See ya effing doctor. I think I need to go make a call. Thank you. My ex had a terrible case of phimosis and trying to have sex just didn't work at all. He had to have a condom on to try to mitigate any pain / potentially stop the foreskin from trying to move so much, but then would have to stop every minute or so to readjust the condom and get it back in place. When I spoke to him about it and showed him some research on what could improve it, he told me I had no right to decide what he does with his dick. Okay, but I was just making a suggestion? You were making the only sensible suggestion. I cannot believe there are any other sensible options than correcting phimosis or being celibate. To do anything else would be insanity. The hygiene was a massive issue as well. Correcting his phimosis would have benefited him in many ways. We ended up breaking up due to unrelated factors, but I do hope he got it corrected. It's not fun to live with that. Spent 4 years trying to get him to do something about it. Not sure if I'm reading it right. 4 years in a marriage and still a virgin. Oh, boy. Color me amazed. That is Zen level of you. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.